You will own nothing and be happy. I don't think so. How's it going, folks? I just thought I'd do this quick video on this. A lot of people don't know these things, but right now there's a conglomerate of billionaires called the World Economic Forum. I don't know whether you've known about them, but you should look into them if you don't know about them. But what these guys have planned, like, you do ask yourself, what gives these people the right to think that they have a right to, organise my life, my children's life, your lives, your children's lives, our country's lives. I mean, this is a foreign entity, folks. Foreign entity. It's not even Irish. It's a foreign entity. And now it's going to be telling us, Irish, what we can do with our land. But let's just have a quick look at what they've planned. So, you'll own nothing and be happy, huh? So let's just bring this back and see 8 predictions for the world in 2030. You'll own nothing and be happy. Huh? If we own nothing and be happy, who'll own it all? That's the question. Who'll own it all? Because you have to have something. You have to have stuff. But if you don't own it, who will own it? And who'll be making money on it? Whatever you want, you will rent, and it'll be delivered by drone. Wow. See, they've already started this, rolling all of this out, folks. The McDonald's, and, it's the McDonald's, and they have the drones flying over, and Amazon have started to do it, and this is what they think. So what is it? Jeff Bezos, the multi-billionaire, is he gonna own it all, and we're gonna rent from him? Is that what's planned here? But this is unbelievable. The US won't be the world's leading superpower. I don't know. I mean, when countries like that, when nations like that, they've so much money, so much wealth, so much power, they shouldn't really have power over any nation. Every nation should have its own, look after its own nation, its own land, its own territory. All of this crack that we're all the same, and we all need to put it all into one basket. Like, when I think of things like that, I'm there thinking, right, well, then who's going to make it? Who's going to make all the money? Who's going to, how are they going to evenly disperse it to all the nations? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, and it's ridiculous to think that this is a thing that will, for one, work. But handful of countries. A handful of countries will dominate. A handful of countries. See, already, like, so who selects these countries? And why are these countries being selected to be the leaders of the world and have a say, like, See, I've always said it, the worst thing Ireland ever did, our era, is our real true name, was join that European Union. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. Okay. We won't transplant organs, we'll print new ones instead. Okay, so once they print this, who owns it? Who owns this? Who owns this heart that they've made, this artificial heart that they've made? Who owns it? Someone puts that into their body, the doctors put it into your body. You don't own it. So who owns it? So on what claim then do they have of the rest of your body? If because I assume if the person dies, then the organ is taken back and put in someone else. But who owns it? It's all about ownership. You'll eat much less meat. Oh, will I? Thanks. I'll eat much less meat. Thanks for that. Why do I want to eat less meat? If I want to eat meat, I'll eat meat. No one's going to tell me what I can and can't eat. So now they're going to tell us what we can and can't eat. That's a very interesting one, folks, isn't it? An occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and our health. Wow. So basically, just gonna treat you like a child. You can't have them sweeties. You're being bold. If you're not a good boy, you're not gonna get them sweeties. Like what? What is wrong with these people? Are lula? They're absolutely lula. Lula. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. No, they won't be displaced by climate change. What will happen is, because these same people, these same 300 conglomerate of billionaires go into these countries and they absolutely wreck them and destroy them and take all their oil and their ore and all the metals and dig up the land and so the people of these countries can no longer produce and they become poorer and poorer while these people get richer and richer. And now they're blaming it on climate change. Would you give me a break? Climate change. Scientists have told us that the world itself is constantly going up and down in temperature. It has nothing to do with human beings. And, the figures is it's actually not even 1% of a whole 100% of the what's in the environment. There's a lot of it's due to volcanoes. Apparently when a volcano erupts, which is natural, it produces so much of all of the CO2. So human beings are not, we're adding minuscule. And then other scientists have actually said that the CO2 levels have nothing to do with the way the climate is changing. Nothing. The climate will always change. So basically what are they going to do? Try and charge us for the weather now, is it? We have to do a better job in welcoming and integrating refugees. Ireland has always welcomed, we've always welcomed foreign nationals. I mean, my best mate growing up in school, his father's from Brazil, moved here when he was 18, married an Irish girl and had Irish kids. And he never wanted to change it. He never wanted his meat, butchered a certain way, and he didn't want, he never wanted to change that, and he didn't come over here changing that. And that's real integration. What's happening now, folks, is not real integration. These people coming over, they're building their own churches, and then they're telling us that their church is the main church, and the halal. They wanted halal butchery now, which goes completely against our butchering that we've been doing for millennia, and that's not integration. It's not integration. These people are not here to integrate. These people are here to bring their own law. They follow their own laws. They don't follow our laws. They follow their own laws. They follow Sharia law. And now it looks like in the likes of England and a lot of places where they've become the majority, they're actually pushing for Islam. They're pushing for Sharia law on them in England. And it'll come here too, folks, So that's not integration. So you can underline that word and scrape it off, because these refugees are not going to integrate, They're not integrate. They're better off going home and send them money and do whatever we need. I don't mind that. We go and send them money so they can build up their countries. We help them out like the Irish have for neons for years with the Troker. We used to send them millions in Troker. I remember doing it myself as a child. We've always did that. That's how you do it. But this is ridiculous. Bring them over and then change. Polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. Okay. Isn't it odd the way they're saying polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide when the very people that are involved with the World Economic Forum are the polluters, are the ones that own the businesses that are polluting, with their factories, and they're making their bits of plastic and all the crap that they put on people's shelves for us to buy. And they're saying, no, folks, what's going to happen is you're going to pay a tax. You're going to pay a tax for their pollution. You're going to pay a tax. That's what that is. That's exactly what that is. It's nothing to do with the people that are actually polluting the world paying tax. No, you are. You and I are driving our little cars. We'll be paying extra tax for driving our cars. We'll be paying extra tax on our food because the trucks that are bringing the food will be adding carbon to the atmosphere. Apparently, Wake up, folks, wake up. You know, smell the coffee, wake up. There will be a global price on carbon. Well, there always was a global price on carbon. You know, there always was. But I suppose there was different people paid different money depending on how much the oil they had. Our government fucking started giving away our oil, you know, back in 1995. They've been giving away our oil ever since. And Sweden, I think it's Sweden or Norway, one of them, either Sweden or Norway are making absolute fortunes on Irish oil. Irish oil, while we're paying through the teeth for our heating, you know? It's not that's meant to go back to the people, and never went back to the people. They sold it on. You know, their excuse at the time, oh, we can't pump it, we don't know how to pump it. That's what their excuse was. It's absolute crazy. This will help make fossil fuels history. We need fossil fuels. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're telling like Europe at the minute. They're telling Europe, stop, digging up turf. Stop, using coal. Stop using that. But yeah, do you know who is still using coal and still building factories for coal? The Chinese. You know, the Chinese are still using coal. You know, but no, Europe, no, we have to stop using coal. We have to stop all our industries, our turf industries and everything were destroyed. All the farming industries were absolutely destroyed with this. And you know what the gas thing was, folks? To tell you this, the gas thing was, we stopped producing the likes of briquettes and turf and stuff like that. But then we started importing it back in from Germany and Poland. You know, you couldn't make this shit up, and it's the truth. Look it up. You don't believe me? Look it up. We started importing it in at a higher price. And now Irish people are paying more for briquettes and for turf. Because we're importing it back in. It's just pure madness. We've got headbangers in there. Absolute headbangers in that Leinster House right now. For the past 20, 30 years in this country. Headbangers. They haven't got a clue what they're doing. Well, they do have a clue what they're doing. It's nothing to do with, making our lives better. They're meant to make our lives better, you know? Constitutionally wise, they're contracted to make our lives better, and they haven't been making our lives better. And it's about time the people start rising and saying, hold on a minute, you know? Making fossil fuel, because all of these billionaires, zillionaires, trazillionaires, whatever you want to call them, have already made their money on the fossil fuels. So, instead of other people making money, no, let's just and I wouldn't mind it. It's actually coming out now that fossil fuels, like the likes of oil and all, it's free flowing. It's constant. It doesn't run out. It was all a farcical it was all a farce that was created there a few years ago. About 20, 30 years ago, that fossil fuels ran out, and that's why they had to put a price on it. It apparently replenishes itself after a certain amount of years. It's all just one big lie, folks, to take your money away and keep you below the breadline. You could be preparing to be going to Mars. Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. Folks, these people can't even keep us healthy on Earth. They can't even keep us healthy on Earth. And now they're trying to say now they're going to keep us healthy in space. Like, what about Earth? What about here? What about this? What about now? What about this land? What about looking after the land, right? That's all this government's meant to do. They're meant to be looking after the land, right? And any money that's made on the land, it's meant to go back into the state, which the state is the land, right? It's not the government, it's the land, right? And then it's meant to go to the people of the land. And it doesn't, just doesn't. Look around you. Look what you're paying for your shopping, and how much you're paying your shopping now. How much you're paying for your oil and your gas and your food. Come on, folks, use your brains. These are the same people, the bankers and the property developers and the governments, and they're all in cahoot with each other, the whole lot of them, and they're all making fortunes. The start of the journey will find alien life. There's plenty of aliens here already. We don't need to find more alien life. Thanks very much. Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. What's wrong with Eastern values? Why go after Western values? Why are they going after Western values? Why are they going after? Like the West has been working for hundreds of years perfectly. With the best buildings, everything was perfect. And then we start bringing in the people from the East. If anything, you need to be going testing the East, what's going on in the East, with the likes of what's going on there. with the child marriage. And it's not child marriage, it's paedophilia. It's not child. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. It's paedophilia. It's not child marriage, right? Paedophilia. That's what we're importing into our countries. Western values will be tested to the breaking point. Yeah, they will be, yeah. If we allow it to. Checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. Checks and balances. Now, when I say checks and balances, that's control. So who's going to have these control? Who's going to have control over these checks and balances? Because the whole point of a democracy is the people have the say in the checks and balances of their own lives. That's what a democracy is. And by right, this nation's not meant to be a democracy. This nation is a republic. Since 1916, we were a republic. In 1937, with the Constitution, we became a democratic republic. But what the gas thing is? We're neither now. We're absolutely neither. Absolutely neither now at this point. Right, the reason we wanted to show that was because we are all living in a society where we believe that, we elect representatives, right, from the areas or whatever to go into the Dáil and represent us. But the reality is, do we have control over these people anymore? And we should have control over the people. They work for us. They're civil servants. That's what a civil servant is. The Garda, the Army, the people in hospitals, all civil servants, all meant to be working for the Irish people. Because they're here in Éire, right? They're meant to be working for us. So they're meant to be working for us. So who's controlling them? Well, so I just thought I'd get into this, right? So look at this, right? Irish young leaders recognised by the World Economic Forum, right? The WEF. This is the people these crazy headbangers that are trying to tell you that you'll own nothing and be happy and you'll be renting it all, right? But let's see who's involved. Including individuals like former Taoiseach Leo Varadkar. Wow. Who'd have known that? Huh? Leo Varadkar was in there. Of course he was. As he's the one that opened the floodgates in the first place. Bertie No Bank Account Herm was the first one to open her up with him and his buddy, Dennis O'Brien. But anyway, and current Taoiseach and Minister for Finance, Simon Harris. Folks, are these people like that's a conflict of interest straight there, right away. Like, who is this WEF? I tell you who this WEF is. This WEF is a business, a private entity business of billionaires all wanting to make profit, right? And now they're training in your Taoiseach and your Taoiseach and your politicians. That's what's happening right now. That's the reality we face. Look, and they've been doing it since 2016. There, Caroline Casey was part of Damien English, 2015, 2016. John Collision, and then all of these that are, and Micheál Martin, by the way, was also there, so he's part. Oh, Jack Chambers, look at that. Jack Chambers is in there, a young leader. Like, folks, wake up. Seriously, please, you're gonna have to start waking up. Like this is like straight away. People should start asking questions. Why is Leo Varadkar down as the World Economic Forum? Why is Leo Varadkar, who was the Taoiseach of Ireland at one point, the Taoiseach of Éire, the Taoiseach of Ireland at one point, part of the World Economic Forum? Like, come on, folks. Come on. Like, who are these people? These people are unelected, just like they are in Europe, the leaders of the European Union. None of them are elected. Von der Leyen, she wasn't elected. She was selected. She was put in there by the billionaires all around Europe. They're put in there. The people never voted them. That's not democracy. Democracy is the people. Comes from the people, from the ground up. The people. And then because we're a constitutional republic, It says by law, by Irish law, that the people, everything, if any change in their laws has to go to a referendum, has to go to the people, But we've got, and do you know who's a big funder of the World Economic Forum? Get this one, Do you know who the big, massive funder? Bill Gates. Bill Gates is one of the funders. I think actually Bill Gates. Let me just check that. Was Bill Gates a young leader? Let's see for the crack. Let's see for the crack. Was Bill Gates part of this? So, right, so it says here Bill Gates was never a young leader. That's fine. And there's no public record of him being part of it. But like, this is how they do it with words, right? Never part of the program. It was founded by Klaus Schwab. We know that, Klaus Schwab. Founder of the World Economic Forum. But Gates is not listed as one of its members. Gates has, however, participated in numerous other World Economic Forum initiatives and has been a speaker at its annual members meetings. So if the guy is not part of it, why is he speaking at it? And why was he involved in some of the initiatives? Like, I know for a fact Bill Gates is going around buying up farmland, right? And he's setting up businesses, and get this, he's setting up businesses that make meat. Like, it's modified, made meat in a factory. It's not even a real animal, it's made meat. And then I've seen at the start of this video where it was showing you where they say you'll eat less meat. Like, come on, folks. Of course he's part of it. Of course he is. You know, just like he's part of the World Health Organization. You know, the WHO, the World Health Organization, and then he was part of the vaccines as well. Oh wow, he's part of the vaccines, and then what would the World Health Organization do, calling all of these pandemics? Folks, like it's all there for you to research yourself. It's so simple, you know. Just wake up. Come on, let's go. Let's take up a country back. We're not going to take this country back. And people are just going to swanny around and go, it's all right. Much is a litre of milk now? €6? Sure. Why not? You know what I mean? €6. I'm sure if €6 here in my pocket, I'd pay €6 for a litre of milk. That at one point was €1.50, but I'd pay €6. You know, because climate change is making it €6. Come on, folks. No, climate change is not making it €6. Scumbag, greedy billionaires is making it €6. That's who's making it. All the buddies, all looking after each other. Come on, wake up, folks. It's time to wake up now. You know, get up out of bed and wake up.